All right. Welcome back. First live stream since I went live or tried to go live, attempted to go live at SoFi Stadium. Wasn't the best time, right? Especially after they lost. That said, I'm here in the flesh. Jake Ellenbogen. We are back. I know a lot of people are like, hey, what's going on? Well, I'm here. And not just doing a video. And I brought my guy LQ on. So we're going to bring him on in a sec. Before we do, I just want to remind you guys that Sleeper is the sponsor of not only this video, but this channel. And they have such a cool deal right now. You can use my code JKB and get 100% match up to $100, which, as you guys probably know by now, that's been around for a while. But they just added a $20 free entry for new users. So if you aren't getting in on that action, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you could do it tonight for the Monday Night Football game. You could do it Thursday, Giants-Eagles. You could do it for the Rams-Ravens. You could do it for the playoffs in baseball. NBA is back. NHL is back. Like, there are so many different ways you can take advantage of it. So definitely get in on the action with Sleeper. Use my code JKB. The link is in the description below. Without further ado, we welcome back one of the all-time guests of this channel, a guy that you guys absolutely cannot get enough of. So please welcome, round of applause for Laquan Jones.
Hey, what up, bro?
How's it going, my guy?
It's going, brother. It's going, man. I could tell you it's good to be back, get on screen with you, wrap it up, and just talk and chop it up about the Rams. And I think this is a good time to put a pin right now and kind of air out everything that has been going on with this team, man.
Yeah, no, I love having you back. It's been a wild few weeks. You've been busy. I've been busy. I've been traveling. Then the whole phone thing I told you off air, where I get a new phone and then your number, which is saved, I just don't have your name to the number, and we never text each other. We're like, Laquan, how you doing this morning? Like, we just say, hey, what's up? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it didn't make going back and finding your number any easier. But alas, we are here. We are back. We are ready to go. Rams, Ravens this weekend. I was at SoFi for the 49er game. That was torture.
Ooh.
That was torture. But I am very curious because we had a little bit of, we had some conversations off air. Yeah. And I think the folks are going to like this one because there's going to be, not that we entirely disagree on everything, but I feel like there's going to be some banter back and forth here. And I'm excited.
I'm excited. There's a lot that I think we align on where we're like eye to eye, like, yo, we locked in.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we're going to have our differences and kind of have different perspectives of what side of what we're going to be on. And the last couple of weeks have not been easy, Jake. Any Rams fan right now can tell you, the feeling that we are sitting with just feels like mud. It's yuck, right? Because I take the side of hey, the way we've been playing has been cool in terms of okay, we're seeing flashes of Tutu again. We're seeing Devontae Adams be Devontae Adams at times. We're seeing Puka being on a historical run right now, right? But the way and the fashion that we are losing these games, and even somehow we are winning these games, this does not make me feel good about the current state of the team, right? Because there's a lot that's fishy, Jake. Can we start Terrence Ferguson? I mean, the rookie goes out there and makes a great catch, makes an excellent catch. We don't see him anymore.
Not at all.
Where did he go? Where did he go, Jake? That's where I want to start right there. Where did he go? Faded. He hit the homer and just faded in the bushes.
Yeah. I was going to say, no. The dude that used his instant transmission.
Fade. Come on, bro. I'm sitting here yo, this could be the up and up. This could be the game he gets ramped up. And then I'm why? Why aren't we leaning into this kid? The way you could disguise him, just have him just on the line as a disguised blocker and go off and run for a route. This is red zone opportunities here, Jake. We're forcing it to Adams. Jay, I don't know. It's just been very weird the last couple of weeks of some of the things that we're doing and some of the things that we're not doing.
That's fair. I do want to start off by saying this. The Rams currently, as of October 6th, 2025, have the best quarterback in the National Football League in Matthew Stafford.
Facts.
He is outplaying everyone. I don't care what anyone says. You look at, on PFF, they have the big time throws. He's ahead of everybody in the league. Okay. People will say Baker Mayfield should be ahead of him. Here's my argument against Baker Mayfield being ahead of him. He's throwing a lot of those turnover worthy plays. And he doesn't have as many big time throws as Stafford. Stafford is dealing with a really not so good pass protection. That has not been healthy for more than 15 minutes in a game.
Yeah.
So on top of that, the run game really didn't get going until week 3 against the Eagles.
Correct.
So he was doing that. And then, which is ironic because that was his worst game, but he has been so good. And the throws he's made, the throw to Atwell in overtime, one of the greatest throws ever.
Fact. $10 million catch.
Seeing that live, it was just insane. It was, you wish that Tutu was able to get more depth and then that's a touchdown, but it's still an incredible throw nonetheless. And just the fact, like, he's swirling around doing a 360, like only Stafford, right? But I just feel like maybe I don't even know because I was there. I thought I'd be more upset, and maybe it's just being numb to sports heartbreak, but I don't feel as bad as everyone else does. As a matter of fact, I feel really good about this team even still. When I went back and I watched the tape, I was expecting like, is this going to be bad? No, the offense absolutely dominated them. That's why I thought it was rich that Deommodore Lenoir is coming out and running his mouth about Kyren Williams. Dude, you sucked. You all sucked. You gave up 389 yards to Stafford, which is a Rams career high, I believe. You sucked. Yes. You got away with an unforced error on Blake Corum where he just drops the ball on a crack toss. And then Kyren Williams fumbles, and you didn't force the fumble. And then, that whole thing with Deommodore Lenoir, who I think is the most overrated corner in the league. I mean, the dude just talks a lot, so you know him. But he was like, oh, yeah, he's got a fat mouth, whatever. And he was like, yeah, he was barking at me or whatever. And it's like, yeah, he was barking at you, you dipshit, because literally Kyren Williams ran across he scored a touchdown, and then you swatted at him after the fact. Like, you were the problem.
He's defending himself. So in a sense of like, it's a pride thing here.
Exactly. Jake. And get the hell off me.
Like, to even like feel that game, like, I'm over it. You know what I mean? Because like my anger is never towards like, I would say, the outcome of the game. It's more of the fashion that we went out in that game. Like, it's more so of like, it stings because yes, we were facing a beat up 49ers team, but we already know them Niners, when they come to SoFi, it's always going to be a battle. Like, these are going to be the games, no matter if it's their 4th or 5th string quarterback or their 4th and 5th string running back. Like, it doesn't matter. These games are going to come down to the wire. And I feel like, Jake, reason why we're on different sides of this perspective, because you said you feel good about this team. I do agree on the front of the presentation of the offense. I know we have not yet to even see it at its peak, and it's great right now. I know when our running backs and they get on the same page and they're running efficiently, boy, Blake Corum and Kyren Williams could be one of the best duo running backs in the league. And this is with a O-line that is not even fully completed right now. So I know these things are in motion, but it's the mistakes, it's the fires in-house right now that I think it's kind of crazy that we're 5 weeks into football and we're still dealing with special team issues. Like, bro, that's to me something that will linger throughout the season, that will go under the rug. And then when it's in the playoffs and we lose in that fashion, we're going to look back and be like, oh, why did that happen? Well, because it was a problem in week 5. Why wouldn't it be a problem in the first round of the playoffs? You know what I mean? Like, that's my biggest issue there.
That's fair.
Like, those little mistakes may not be like, the headline, but this is the headline in-house for us, because it's like, bro, we can't keep losing games like this. There's some games we shouldn't even be even this close to them, but yet these mistakes are the ones that kill us in the end. And I just can't right now bark outside repping my squad saying that this is a Super Bowl winning team, because Super Bowl winning teams don't have minimum issues like this. Like, we get this nipped in the butt.
Well, and this is where I kind of want to push back, right? Because I think a lot of people will say they're not a Super Bowl winning team. And that's fair. I don't think there is a damn team out there that has shown they're Super Bowl winning. I think this is a weak NFL. I do. I think when you look, the Bills, who are all supposed to say, yeah, the Bills are amazing. Bills lost last night. They could have lost to the Saints. They notoriously play with their food. They're not a team that really kills you until they have to. And last night, it just never came on for them. I also said how this defense you can throw all over, and that was evident. The Eagles, overrated. They played like dog shit against the Cowboys. Yes. They played like dog shit against the Rams. They played like dog shit against the Bucks. Bailed out by bad calls against the Rams, and they were bailed out against the Bucks when we all know, I mean, if you know the rules, Mr. What's his face? Bucky Irving was down. I can't believe they ruled that a fumble. And oh, by the way, they were dog shit against the Broncos. And that's why the Broncos won. Not because of the refs. You blew an 18-point lead. Suck it up. We did. Now you do. So the point being is the Eagles don't look great. The Bills don't look great. The Colts right now, based on tiebreaker, they're the number one team in the NFL. And the Colts, the one team that would they really played on the road, not at home, on the road, they blew a multi-score game to the Rams. Then you have the 49ers who are fourth. The 49ers are not a 4-1 team. They're just not. They're not that good. That said, they're 4-1.
Can't lose to Jacksonville and then be outside barking like you guys are all put together. Like, again,
the Buccaneers,
that's my biggest issue with them. Yeah, like
the Buccaneers, I mean, they had a great game against Seattle, a team that lost to the 49ers. They lost a close game to the Eagles. It took a crazy game against the Jets for them to win that one. They barely beat the Texans on the final play, and then they barely beat the Falcons. So, this is what I'm getting at. I understand how it feels for a lot of people. Yeah, the Rams have the same record as the Patriots. The Rams have the same record right now as the Commanders and the Vikings. And, I get that, right? But here's the deal. Nobody has really just risen up and has take up the mantle. People are trying to sell me on the Detroit Lions. I laugh. I absolutely laugh. The one game that they played against a good team, they got smacked 27-13. That should have been 37-10. That game wasn't even close. You watch the game and you're like, wow, they can't get anything going. Then they destroy the Bears, run up the score in typically Lions
as they
fashion.
Should.
Yeah, but exactly. Now all of a sudden we're hearing, oh, well, what about the Lions? It's like, are we going to ignore how they got mollywopped by the Packers? And then they play the Ravens, and that looks like a good win until you realize, wow, the Ravens are kind of not that good, right? And then you have the Browns win, and then they beat the Bengals without Joe Burrow. And now we're going to see them against the Kansas City Chiefs next week, and I don't know how good the Chiefs are. Laquan, this is what I'm getting at. This is a huge opportunity for the Rams. The Rams are 3-2. I still believe the Rams are the best team in the NFL. They have the best quarterback right now, currently. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. But currently, the way they're playing, no one is better than Matthew Stafford. Nobody. That's
a fact. Jake, that's a fact. Like I said, that is A+ on the mark. That is a fact. Stafford is a top 5 quarterback. Yeah. In discussion, period.
100%.
We could have the best running back duo, even with a depleted or broken O-line. We have the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. But I can sit here and argue we should be 1-4. And
that's true, but you can make that argument about most of these teams.
But look at the mistakes and look at the blessings that we've gotten. I mean, shout out to A.D. Mitchell. Shout out to him, right? And our issues on special teams that I pointed at, right? Yeah. And then it's like we still have issues with our secondary where I don't think we have time right now to wait for this flower to blossom in Emmanuel Forbes. I don't think this is the window we have to take the time to develop a strong corner. We need an answer right now.
We're definitely in agreement on that.
We cannot let this drawn out, Jake. That's just another thing that's on the plate of a red flag at week 5. We know we're hurting at this position. Again, I don't want to put our players on the spot and talk down on them because it doesn't really help them. I don't want to take away their confidence, but Darius Williams, man, there needs to be a hard discussion here. Something needs to be talked about.
Well, because we're all learning. Well, you and I knew this, and a lot of people knew this that watched the show. Ahkello Witherspoon was exactly who we said and thought he was. And
Yeah.
this team is paying for it. And oh, by the way, they haven't looked this bad in the secondary. And obviously, they don't look anywhere near that bad, right? They haven't looked this bad in the secondary since the Bills game against Josh Allen. And what's so funny about that is the last game before they finally said, all right, Akello, you are going to start. And before that, the worst they ever looked, the Cardinals game week 2, which basically they're like, all right, Akello, you got to come back here right now. Like, there you go. Right? I mean, we all saw what Tre'Davious White can do last night. Not much. So that's the thing. So I'm gonna say this. I really like what I'm seeing with the offense. I thought those fumbles were a little fluky. I thought Blake Corum doesn't normally just drop the ball like that. Kyron
why
Williams
did we
fumble.
punish him? That's my issue too. Why did we punish Blake for that?
I mean, I do agree with it because they weren't really running the ball that well anyway.
And he didn't have it's a short week. He didn't have a great game like the week before that. Like it was one of those things, like I had my low expectations for him, but I don't think we punish him to the bench for that. Especially when we know
what do you do? We have issues.
You don't put him, first of all, in one of the most critical moments that we need a win. Like in the high stakes moments, that can't be him. And especially in the red zone when we know Blake Corum can be very efficient and effective and as dangerous as a scorer in the red zone. So that's just my thing. Like this is public information. We know Sean McVay knows this, but we keep playing the nice guy role. We need to punish our players that need to be punished, because at the end of the day, we punish Cam Akers because we wanted him to get the ball more. He wanted to get the ball more, but they just weren't clashing in terms of roles of sharing that backfield. But no, we can't sit there and have this red flag problem of somebody that we're accepting, being that we signed him long term, that we know this is a major issue he carries. So do not put the ball in critical moments. Like a minute and 2 seconds, we are away from winning that game and walking off and moving on. But now this is the headline and topic we're going to be talking about for the next couple of weeks of like, what does this workload split looks like in reality? Like we can't keep on going workhorse, and then expect him to show up in these critical moments, and then he drops the ball. This is who he's been. We know this. So why do we keep doing it?
I mean, the issue with Kyron is I don't feel like it's just like a simple thing. What I've seen this year is a genuine effort to change his fortunes. And we've seen that.
Absolutely.
When he comes up to contact, and people that hate him, they're going to hate him. They're not going to listen to anything I say, and they're going to call me delusional, and that's their right. But I try to see everything, right? And when I'm watching the film, not just the film when I'm watching the game, but afterwards when I'm watching the film, it speaks to me that this guy has made a serious effort to change this. And
absolutely. He has quicker feet. He's hitting the holes a lot more faster, a lot more reckless. And like he is running harder he has ever ran in his career. But he's always
doing this now. And he was doing it on that play, and then this is where we get talked about all the time with quarterbacks, live to play another down. The running back there, that was what, second down? First down? It was a first down run, right?
It might have been a first down run, yeah.
So you have, in your mind, you could run it 4 times. You have 3 more runs. You got a good chunk. Take it, fall forward, hold it like this, get after it the next time. But unfortunately, Kyron gets those big eyes, and you can see it in the moment because in slow motion, he goes from this to right after he takes his arm off the ball, and now he's trying to put it in, that second gear, and he's trying to shoot his way through. And you know what? He probably has it 99 out of 100 times. But that one time in particular, you get a guy who is trying to, George Foreman the shit out of you, punches you right in the face, knocks the ball out all in one swipe, and it just happened to be like that perfect moment. The problem is people don't want to hear that. And it's also another thing. You go back to the Colts game, and they say, that's a fumble on Kyron. I thought that was on Stafford. He puts it up here, and Kyron never has possession. You can't tell me that's a fumble on Kyron, but the one where Stafford throws directly to Blake Corum on the toss, that goes to Stafford? What are we doing? So that is actually how it was scored, by the way. So my point here is that I think there has to be some nuanced discussion about Kyron. Kyron Williams is a big reason why they were even in position to win that game.
Absolutely. He made some clutch catches. That's the thing. He is a great productive player.
Yeah.
But in terms of how many times we're going to be putting him in position, that's one of the things that McVay was talking about, putting my players in that position. He understands that Kyren has this issue. So I am pushing back. If you know this issue is a huge red flag, do not put the ball in his hands when we need the absolute moment for greatness. Because at the end of the day, Kyren is always going to be a complimentary back in our backfield. He's already going to be part of the game plan. In terms of workload moving forward, we do not need the higher risk of chance of him dropping that ball at any point in any context, Jake. That's my only pushback on the Kyren thing. Like, I can acknowledge that he is one of the best running backs on the ground after contact, and his feet have been increasingly better each and every week. He is running harder and harder with every single touch he gets. You could feel the passion in it. But the one thing, I don't know if it's psychological. I don't know if it's just simply just how his body is made. Like, I don't know. Does he have to drop the ball in terms of high contact moments? And the thing is, like, nobody wants to bash him. As a fan, nobody wants your player to lose that confidence of what you love and passion in the game. So I appreciate the human in Kyren, but I am not appreciating the decision-making to put the ball in his hands at this high of a rate. We cannot punish Blake Corum for that same mistake that we keep putting people out there. Keep the 1-2 punch going. There was no reason why Blake Corum should have been on the bench, even though he had a struggle game. You know what I mean? Let him ramp up.
I get what you're saying. Honestly, at that point, you're down 14-0. You're at the 24-yard line, and Blake Corum just drops a toss. I didn't want him out there at all. I was done with him in that moment.
Same energy, though.
But it's no different than the other day when Ramondre Stevenson fumbles that ball away, and you're like, against the Steelers, and you're like, wow, he just cost him the game. Ramondre Stevenson's not going to see the field. Now Antonio Gibson is on. Now, Travion Henderson's on. That's how I look at it. Now, here's the deal. The Rams only keeping 2 running backs active, I just don't agree with. And another thing is the pass protection, which I think, again, people just ignore. Kyren is a huge component in that. And this is maybe the worst pass protection Stafford's had since 2022. It's not great. It just looks fine because Stafford makes it look fine. His subtle movements in the pocket, how he's able to, change his arm angle. And then in addition to that, how, he's actually getting rid of the ball quicker than he's ever gotten rid of it. But Stafford had a chance to call a game if he had a little bit more time on that 3rd down play that went into the 4th and 1. And he did not have enough time because of the lack of pass protection. So when he tries to sidearm it, he knows he has to sidearm it. Otherwise, this is going to be a strip sack. He gets it to Kyren. It's behind him. Kyren's walking in the end zone for a touchdown if he puts that out in front of him. So it's tough right now. And I feel like I understand people are upset, but here's my thing. And I don't care what anyone says. I've watched it all over social media. Kyren Williams is a 2-time 1,000-yard rusher who scored over 30 touchdowns. Cam Akers was never getting this much hate, ever. And he fumbled twice in the playoffs, in the divisional round, and was almost the reason for the Rams blowing it against Tampa Bay and Tom Brady.
Tampa Bay was actually probably a thing.
I'll go a step further. On that first drive against the Bengals in the Super Bowl, this dude literally blocks Andrew Whitworth in pass pro. And he's out there and said Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel. And I never once saw people hate on him the way Kyren Williams, who's been nothing but productive, has costed 3 fewer rounds in draft capital. He gets more hate than any running back I have ever seen in a Rams uniform. It is absolutely insane to me. I understand it's frustrating. Guess what? It's frustrating for me too. It's not just you guys. Like if you think I wasn't frustrated, I love the guy, but I'm also trying to keep it real here. The fumbling was bad. That was a bad fumble at the goal line. The 49ers are celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. They were outplayed in every way when the offense was on the field.
They should be giving their coach credit. Like, I think that goes under the rug. Like, for Kyle Shanahan to get guys off the street, to get the third string like players
I think
to
it's
like
solid, man.
play
I'll tell
to
you right
play at
now.
a elite level in his system. It's like Kendrick Bourne. I mean, sheesh, come on now. That was impressive. So I do think that folks that are the 49ers fans outside saying, "Oh, you got beat by a JV team," like that's what you think of the
I'm
product of
also
your
tired
team.
of hearing that. Can I push
Like,
back against that? That's a false
stupid.
narrative. One, Mac Jones is better than Brock Purdy. I said it. Two, Christian McCaffrey started, if I'm not
Mac Jones
mistaken.
better than Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, absolutely. Christian McCaffrey started. You told me that he's going to be MVP and he's great and all this, and now you're walking it back. Like, oh, it's not the same. Yeah, whatever. Jawan Jennings didn't play. Ricky Pearsall didn't play. Kendrick Bourne did play. People are like, oh, they just were, figuring it out on the fly. Kendrick Bourne played with Mac Jones in New England, you dumbass. Are you kidding me? Kendrick Bourne and freaking Mac Jones played together in New England. They had plenty of rapport. No one talks about that. Then, Demarcus Robinson, you loved him last year, Rams fans. You can't just say he's a JV dude now.
I thought he was going to have the better game out of him and Bourne, actually, but
yeah,
kind of swapped.
The offensive Jake Tonjes has been playing well. The offensive line is basically the same, except Connor Colby's playing over Ben Barch. Not a huge difference. I mean, I would probably say Barch is better, but not that much better. Rams are playing without Steve Avila. You saw that. And then the defense, it's like, I understand they don't have Nick Bosa. I understand they don't have George Kittle, but these were established losses before this game. What wasn't established was that you were going to be without Pearsall and Jawan Jennings. But this whole JV team, I just don't subscribe to that, because going into this game, we knew exactly who was going to play. And I feel like that's an excuse. And honestly, I'm kind of tired of hearing about it, because it's coming from 49er fans who want me to put them higher in my power rankings, but then are telling me that they're playing a JV team. And so the reality is this. Okay?
It never makes sense, Jake. They're not critical thinkers. Like,
well, I know that. Not all of them.
Chalk that up. No, there's some. I work with one. I love working with Marcus. I mean, he's a great
Jesse,
guy, but he's a 49 fan, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
I can't cross the lines of friendship with you, brother. We ain't going to a game together. We might not be friends leaving.
Yeah, well, Jesse and I sat next to each other during it, and he was probably the coolest dude ever, because, I mean,
you'll find that 1%, Jake. You'll find that 1%.
Yeah.
Keep them close, man.
But here's what I'll say, though, to wrap up our offensive part, and then we can get into defense, because defense definitely needs to be talked about. I think Chris Shula failed this group, but that's neither here nor there for now. The offense. Stafford, we already talked about, looks great. Kyron, he's having a good year. One legitimate fumble. Problem is, people are now calling, it's a pattern now, because we're calling the Colts fumble a fumble. It's ridiculous.
No, yeah, that doesn't count. I don't put that on his jacket.
Puka, it's so weird. I love that they got Atwell involved. I love that they got Whittington involved. They started mixing it up a little bit. But Puka only had 10 catches in a game that was this close. I would have just kept force feeding him. They had no answer. That's the thing. 49er fans were like, oh, we held him to 85 yards. Yeah, but you let him catch 10 of 12 targets. I could have just kept throwing to him. So that was frustrating. But right now, if you're wondering why I feel so good about this team, is because this offense is already back-to-back weeks. They have figured out how to maximize Matthew Stafford. And this offense is nowhere near where it's going to be. They're still not using tight ends the way they should. That one drive where Puka got the touchdown on the quick pass at the goal line, that drive included Atwell involved. They got Terrence Ferguson involved. They got Davis Allen involved. They got Jordan Whittington involved. There's more spreading of the football and everything. But my thing is that this offense, we have not seen what this offense can be, because Steve Avila has not started a full game yet. This offensive line was without Rob Havenstein, okay? And Warren McClendon Jr. had his moments, but he wasn't great. So now we're already seeing Stafford without two of his five starters on the offensive line. We're seeing Stafford put up these numbers. We're seeing Puka Nacua look like the best receiver in the National Football League. We're seeing You know, like now they're getting Tutu Atwell involved back-to-back weeks. This is where things are going to get scary. And when the Rams do get healthy, this offense is going to put up points in bunches. Sean McVay is going to figure this shit out. And I think a loss like this, instead of barely getting away with a Colts game, like you said, they probably shouldn't have won. They get away and they don't learn from those mistakes, really. Not as much. And it was a short week. How do you learn in a short week, right? So, and by the way, that's the only way the 49ers were going to beat the Rams, with guys that were out. Short week, have to prepare, different quarterback, all of that. But what I'm saying here is this. The Rams offense is not healthy yet. They're not anywhere near where they're going to be. And Stafford is already showing the capability to keep his eyes downfield, work quick enough where he's not taking sack after sack. Only was sacked once in this game. There's a lot more pressure than to be sacked once. Facts. And you're just seeing a guy that's just in a zone right now. And he's able to make any throw down the field. It's why the Rams are one of the most explosive teams in the league. That's why, just imagine, just wait until they're healthy on the offensive line. Tutu Atwell's fully integrated into the offensive game plan. They get Terrence Ferguson going. They get Tyler Higbee going. And the run game now with the starting offensive line is going. Who is going to outscore them? That's the thing. I don't think anybody is. But we'll get to the defense, obviously.
I will agree. I will agree 100% with you, Jake. It's just the little things, man. The little things that can bite us in the ass later, that fire needs to be put out before we even move on to the bye week. Like, defensively, I really don't have any complaints other than the secondary, to be honest. Like, I feel like right now, with Omar Speights out of the mix right now, dealing with that high ankle sprain, obviously we want Sean Dolac to go out there and eat, right? But I think for the next couple of weeks, we're going to have to deal with the Troy Reader train. All right?
I think they got to play Sean Dolac.
I honestly think we don't see Dolac
I agree
in
with
the
you.
position until week 9. Like, I don't think after the bye, I don't think we see him until after the bye. I think Troy Reader will lock this up, this opportunity, I guess, to right the wrongs of the Rams fans. I listen, I ain't got no smoke with Troy. I ain't got no smoke with him. I'm fine with him out there just playing good football. That's all I want at the end of the day. And we need to keep Landman healthy. He cannot get hurt. He cannot get hurt. I almost panicked when he got banged up. That was scary, right? I'm like, no. But man, I gotta say, like, I don't know how you feel, but like Omar Speights has been my guy. But we gotta be honest. Like, he hasn't been, like, his presence hasn't been felt as much as it was last season.
That's fine though.
But like,
quiet is not bad. Loud is bad, but like if you're constantly being talked about in a bad way, that's not good.
I mean, more so a presence on the field though. Like, he used to always be in the mix type. Like,
I think Landman is definitely stealing his role.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like there's a lot more hesitation. I saw that in the indie game, a lot more hesitation in some of this stuff. So like, I feel like now with this change of pace, with Dolac coming in, I really do think, like, I'm thankful we came out of camp.
I thought Indy was his best game. That's the irony.
Like, I do feel like we came out with some depth in camp that we're not really like panicking at that position, you know? Like, I feel really good about our linebackers. It's just our secondary. It's like, we need corners that can tackle. Like, we need corners that can be true, like, shut down corners. Like, I don't care what we do in free agency. I don't care what we do before the trade deadline, but we can't go beyond this season with this still issue at corner. You know, like, it stops here. Like, it needs to end. No,
I agree. I actually have a list that I made for the corners. I'm going to bounce some names off you. Ready?
Let's do it.
Got Bengals cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt was benched last week. You don't like him?
No.
Okay. Next. I do like him. I think he'd be a good fit. And I also think clumping him in with the Bengals right now, everybody sucks. And it's like
He's not
Washington.
motivated. I get it. He's on a bad team. He's not motivated, but I don't want somebody that's not motivated and trying to
That's
come
fair.
mid-season. Like I need somebody who's been on their stuff and the team is in the middle, moderately competitive. Like, no, we need somebody that can come be plug and play. Like, I don't have time to build somebody's confidence back up when we're dealing with that now, currently with another corner. So it's like we need somebody that can be literally plug and play. And that's
Mm-hmm.
only if we want to take care of that now. But what I'm saying is, okay, cool. We stuck with it this entire season. Next off season, something needs to happen. Like, because we can't keep with this pattern because this has been our weak link. Like this issue has been an issue for a while. Like we always invest in middle round type of players or late round type of defenders. And I get it. I understand why. I
Mm-hmm.
think the last time that became a problem was the Tremaine Johnson and Jack Rabbit Jenkins. Like one had to get tagged, the other had to go get paid. Like that's just how it came down to. That was such a headache to deal with. And I think we've been avoiding that same pattern, especially with Snead, where you need to address at least one because Akeem Talib and Marcus Peters, those were temporary fixes. We need some long-term investments because, boy, like I can't sit here and watch a game and know like it's a risk every time the quarterback gets time in the pocket that whoever catches this ball is more likely going to get yards after the catch. He's most likely going to be able to muscle his way off of our corner or make them completely miss somehow. Like it's just one of those most frustrating things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I still like CTB, but I get what you're saying. Browns cornerback Denzel Ward. Now, here's the thing. I think this is incredibly unlikely. The Browns, I know they lost to the Vikings.
Yeah.
But the Browns, man, they look competitive. I just don't see a team that's competitive. The same team that was not as competitive last year that wouldn't trade away Njoku because I wanted Njoku like like we need oxygen to breathe. But they wouldn't trade away Njoku last year. What makes you think they're going to trade away Denzel Ward this year?
I can get behind that, but I don't see that happening because like it would benefit us more because I know damn well we ain't about to give up no heavy assets for him, but I do feel like that's a good fix for the next 2-year window that we got. Like I do feel like we should at least entertain that, but I don't think the Browns are going to do it. Like the Browns, their defense is really one of the most scrappiest in the NFL. Like I would hate to get in a bar fight with them. Like that's just how bad that defense could be. Like the trenches, the secondary linebackers, they are running like their heads are on fire, bro.
What about Greg Newsome of the Browns?
Greg Newsome, he's banged up right now, hamstring injuries. Like I feel like we'll be taking on somewhat like a risk there on that bag because like he's a great player, but like I don't want a player that's going to deal with soft tissue like mid-season, and then like we're trying to paint this picture for long term. So like that, I'm a little hesitant of trading for somebody who's injured.
I agree with that. Rasul Douglas on the Dolphins.
Ooh. I mean,
I kind of like it.
We could make something shake there because like I do think Miami's going to blow it up soon. They're ticking time bomb. Like I think the first move of them would have been Tyreek if he didn't get hurt, obviously, but like he definitely was going to get shifted. I don't know where, but he was going to get shifted.
I can't believe they blew that game. Like, I mean, that has to be a death sentence. Like, you don't lose to the Carolina Panthers like that, you know?
He might got more time.
No, I mean, like the Dolphins now officially, it's starting to settle in. Wow, we're not going anywhere.
Maybe because like Chargers are going to be rough. Browns is obviously going to be one of those like, well, you couldn't beat the Browns, and it's like Falcons, Ravens, Bills, Commanders. Like the schedule ain't going to get no easier. So,
no, it's definitely not.
Because Lamar should be back by week 9, and I hope, but they might have to chalk it up and start blowing it up before the deadline.
I mean, Giants cornerback Cordell Flott, I think he's pretty underrated, but problem,
not too familiar with his game.
He's good. It's just my issue because I think he'd be a fit. My issue is like he's kind of in the same vein, I think. And that's the problem, is who are you going to find at the deadline that's not just another Kobe Durant or in that same tier? You look at JC Horn. I think a lot of Rams fans keep bringing him up, but he just got paid. I don't see it. JC Horn is not.
And the Panthers like him. And the Panthers like him.
They
and the
do.
Panthers' pass defense is very underrated right now. They got something working there that they probably won't break up for a very long time.
Yeah, I actually, with the Panthers, I like Mike Jackson. I was surprised how much I liked him when I watched the tape. Not a big name, right? Well, that's not true. If you call him Michael Jackson, that's a huge name. I'm
about to say there's a joke there, but yeah, there you
go. but Mike Jackson from Miami U, if you guys remember, he was on Seattle. He's now with the Panthers. He's got a 47.3 targeted passer rating, and he's been huge in zone coverage. I actually feel like he'd be a good fit. But what do you think about him? Because, I mean, decent size, I think he could be utilized.
It's one of those things, Jake, like, I'm not too familiar with his game, but from what you're telling me, it's kind of like another project we'll be taking on, in a sense of like there's upside there. And like, I think that will be just looking at the rest of our room right now. There's plenty of upside in our players. Like, there's plenty of like opportunity for them to be household name corners. It could be plenty of opportunities where they can be top tier players at the position, but like, we don't have time to wait. It's 2-year window right now. It's literally a 2-year window. And it's
Jackson's 28, so he's not exactly a Forbes type of project. Like, he's an established player in this league, and he can help you in zone coverage. If you ask him to man up and, you know, play on an island, that's not his game. But the Rams wouldn't ask him to do that.
We need help in coverage. It's more so the mistakes and missed tackles and just blown aside. Like, it's the discipline aspect of it. Like, we need somebody that's going to come in, whipped in, plug and play. Like, I would hate for us to be the team of like, we start looking at the senior ages of the corners, like who are just looking for opportunities on a 1-year deal type situation. Like, no, we're not that type of team, because these players that we got are not that bad. It's just like the simple things of just completing tackles and wrapping up. Don't get mushed to the freaking ground off of a stiff arm from AJ Brown. You know, like, it's situations like that where I watch other teams. Like, I watch how the Cardinals even play, and I'm like, yo, these guys are getting after it, but they're making stupid decisions of how that game finished. That was hilarious, by the way, Jake. It can only end that way for the Cardinals.
Good Lord. I mean, hey, I guess Sunday worked out pretty well for the Rams, all things considered.
I guess.
The Raiders, they have a cornerback, former first-round pick, Eric Stokes. He's playing very well this year, 62.3 targeted passer rating, another zone fit. The Raiders look terrible. I just saw a meme earlier this morning, crack me up. It had Geno Smith
Max Crosby
with his helmet backwards, like passing.
Yeah.
Do you get?
I mean, like
he couldn't. He's just looking like he's not even looking at the. It just killed me. I don't know.
The problem is with the Raiders, man. Like, I know that they could be halfway decent, but like, then you see when Geno goes through his ups and downs, like he did it in Seattle. Like, he is not consistent. And I think when you have a guy that can air it out the wazoo, when you have a guy that can have these 3 to 4 touchdown type games, like when he starts making those interceptions, it's like, dude, what are you seeing? Like, do you need the Jameis Winston LASIK or something?
Hey, it's gonna work out if the Rams want, either Eric Stokes or Caillou Blue Kelly, who, by the way, they placed a claim on, and the Packers beat them out, I think, a year or two ago. I feel like Eric Stokes would be available at the deadline. Like, what are the Raiders playing for?
Nothing. I mean, like, it makes sense, but that's just another team that's bad. And like,
I think
are they willing to do business? Like, what type of business?
I think Stokes right now would be the Rams' best cornerback that's healthy. And that, to me, is exciting. That's enticing. That's something that I would make a move. He was drafted in the first rounder for a reason.
There you go. First round grade. So what do they honestly want? Like, I'm saying a 6 is too much at this point.
I mean, I think it would be like here's the problem, right? They traded away their 4th round pick for Davon Hamilton's brother, Ty Hamilton. So when they did that, that's kind of the sweet spot of making these trades. So they might need to do some sort of like fifth and a third or something like that. And for me personally, I think that's too much. But I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know if Eric Stokes would be traded. I don't know what that looks like. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, he was a bust in Green Bay. He's playing really well with the Raiders. It's a 1 year, $4 million deal, right?
Yeah.
It kind of goes to show you maybe the Rams should have, gone after him to begin with.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
but I think Stokes is a guy that I really like, and good tackler. I don't know. I think that would probably be my favorite of the trade targets, because people bring up 2018, they make a big trade. 2021, they make a big trade. Where's the big trade if they're going to win the Super Bowl? And my thing is, I don't know if the big trade is available. In some years, it's just not. And at cornerback, Denzel Ward would be big. J.C. Horn would be big. These are big names, but it has to make sense. You can't just, I don't know. You can't just make a trade. And
Same Madden.
Yeah,
Same
exactly.
fantasy.
It takes two to tango. So this is
That's
why
like I'm not entertaining the whole Sauce Gardner like chirpers.
No,
of like,
that's ridiculous. He just signed a deal.
That's not going to happen, because like at the end of the day, the Jets, they figure they have a really good, I would say, starting point to make pieces of that defense. And when you have one of the best signed for a long term, like, it wouldn't make sense to get rid of one of the core pieces of their defense when they just signed them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And I think the big thing with Sauce Gardner is this, right? He just signed a deal. It's the same thing. Ward, you could make the argument. I think Ward is more likely than J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn just signed. Here's the thing that people aren't taking into account. Okay? The Rams are going to have to pay Byron Young, Jared Verse, Steve Avila, Puka Nacua, Kobe Turner. I mean, the list goes on. Yeah. So, obviously, they're not going to pay everyone. But if you go out and you trade for a J.C. Horn, we'll say, that contract makes it so you probably can't pay most of those guys. That's the problem. So, the way I see it is how the Rams have operated at the cornerback room. They would be more likely to trade for a guy that has some control, isn't about to be a free agent, and is cheap. And I don't think that necessarily means it's a bad player. I think they'd be willing to go after a big name player, but they're not going after a big name player that's either about to get a fat contract and give up top assets for him, or a player that just got a fat contract. So that's the thing.
Yeah. This kind of moves the conversation. Then it's like, okay, draft. We have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah,
next year. What are we doing with them? If Arch ain't coming out, and
I think it's a cornerback and a right tackle to replace Havenstein.
There you go. Fill holes that we absolutely need at the top tier talent. I'm not entertaining a quarterback next season because we still have Stafford playing at top 5 level. So it's like, I don't understand, I guess, the urgency level of the cornerback position, but it's been a problem for years now. Like, we need to make that first round investment on a corner. Like, that needs to be just locked down in the war room on the whiteboard. Get a corner first round ASAP.
Yeah, my thing here is that I am not against a quarterback if it's the right one. I'm not just drafting a quarterback in the first round just to draft one. Personally, if the Rams could swing it and they could just deal with Matthew Stafford, bring back Garoppolo as the backup, and then you have Stetson Bennett again next year.
Give us Mac Jones.
I go crazy. After Stafford retires, I go all out and try to secure Dak Prescott. That's what I do.
I don't know.
Look what he's doing right now.
No, I understand what he's doing, but he also has an injury history as well. And I don't know.
That's true. But
I don't know if I will be fully out the wazoo or just drop the mortgage.
I mean, I'm not giving up 3 first-round picks. It wouldn't cost that. It would be like 1 first-round pick
be
and
less.
like a third, maybe. Yeah. I would do that.
in future time, like I think in 2 years we'll know the trajectory of Dak life at the Cowboys, because these injuries is kind of like what gets me like
Yeah.
Dak would be cool. Dak would be serviceable. Dak would have games like of top tiers of a Matthew Stafford. Like I see the vision, but then it's like I don't want the injuries to carry with him, you know?
No, I get that. It's going to be tough, man, because there are other injuries out there. I mean, I don't know if you saw, you probably did. Terrion Arnold is going to miss a lot of time for the Lions, so now they're in. You know, there are other teams that are going to be in. I mean, if the Falcons were like really bad, maybe they consider trading AJ Terrell. That would be a perfect fit. But are the Falcons really? Yeah, are the Falcons really going to be like, hey, can we get our first rounder back? I mean, I guess in that case, that'd be a lovely. I would do that. I would
like,
do it.
You know what? You might need this back.
Yeah, like, you know, just in case, right?
Oh my god.
No, I like, then the other names I had, Chidobe Awuzie, who almost signed with the Rams, as I reported. He was deciding between the Rams and Ravens, and he and Akello Witherspoon were Colorado teammates. So you'd have those two, and then you have Landman from Colorado. This would be like the Colorado Rams. But I'd love Awuzie if the Ravens continue to struggle here. Awuzie is the best option, I think.
Which they will. They will continue to struggle. I don't know what the Ravens are going to be in the next couple of weeks. I mean, sheesh. I mean, get Lamar back ASAP, but they could be in business. That would be something to entertain. I mean, like, Jake, at the end of the day, we have options. Like, we have the assets, we have the options to make moves and fill holes, man. But it's like, are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? You know, like, that's just honestly the frustrations of like,
only Awuzie just chose the Rams to begin with. None of this would be happening. He wouldn't be in a bad situation with the Ravens. You know, the Rams and Ravens should agree. If the Rams win, they get Awuzie. And if the Ravens win, you get Darius Williams back, like when we stole him years ago. There you go. Fair trade. That's that. But
facts.
All jokes aside, Awuzie can tackle. He's sticky in coverage. He can make plays in the run game. I really liked that fit when I first heard about it, because the Titans, keep in mind, the Titans cut him. And then he was debating going to the Rams or the Ravens. I think the Ravens were offering him more.
Makes sense.
So that's why he went there. But, I mean, the fact that communication is already open or has been open in the past.
That door has been open. Yeah.
People were asking me, hey, Jake, if they get Awuzie, why would they do that? They have this. I'm like, because they see like Akello and Awuzie. Keep in mind, the Emmanuel Forbes thing was a camp, like, kind of progression. He wasn't somebody that they were banking on to start right away. He clearly took strides in the offseason that they were like, oh, we have something here. So you would have Akello Awuzie. You probably would have traded Darius Williams or Kobe or whatever, but you would have had those two. So that's my thing. You know, I feel like Awuzie is seriously in the mix here. I know he's dealing with a hammy, but he'll probably play in this game. Awuzie is in the mix here. And, you know, it started with them trying to sign him. I think it's a great fit. After that, I got Alontae Taylor from the Saints. I also like him. Reek Woolen from the Seahawks. I wouldn't trade the Seahawks any draft capital. They killed this draft. I don't want to make them kill anymore. And then the Titans cornerback, who they got because the Ravens cut him, Jalen Armour Davis, the first waiver claim of the entire league. He was the first. And a lot of teams wanted him. Jalen Armour Davis, who's not really playing in Tennessee. Some good outside targets. And then free agency guys, I got Michael Davis, Kendall Fuller. He has tons of familiarity with this coaching staff. Tons. Chris Shula, Aubrey Pleasant, Sean McVay.
Yes.
So
yeah, I like that.
I like it, but isn't it a little concerning that they haven't even gone that route yet? Like,
Oh, well, yeah.
I
I
mean, I
mean,
don't know. And then you got Stephon Gilmore, who's 35, and I'm sorry, I did
I don't
not
want
like.
us to be that team. That's what I was talking about. I don't want us to be a look on the street and look for the oldest guy out there who's been
Yeah,
good
no,
10 years ago. Like, nah, I don't want us to be that team to even open that door for a retirement home at the corner position. No, let's not be
yeah.
that team, man. No.
And then AJ Green and Cam Lampkin are on the practice squad. AJ Green should already be up. Trey Brown probably should have been cut after that special teams blunder because that cost the Rams. I mean, Xavier Smith had like a 30-something yard return late in the game.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, so out of all those names that I just gave you, who's the most realistic and who's your dream scenario there?
So obviously the dream scenario, I would say honestly, just ironing out what you have on the table right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
Mike Jackson's attractive, I guess. I do think that, again, Greg Newsome would be entertaining, but he's hurt. So it's like, let's just chalk it up and hit the draft. Like out of the options that we have this season, I don't see them being a plug and play situation that I personally feel like will be beneficial long term. We need something young, fresh that can lock it down and be ready and motivated to go because a lot of these guys that we're naming, like off the Raiders, like we're dealing with bad teams. Like they're not playing great football right now. And like, I don't want to take that time and try to ramp them up to knowing Shula's tendencies and knowing Shula's way, knowing just basic communications and commodity with your locker room guys out there, because that's what it takes. It takes people to lock in and in sync. And like, it's one of those things now. Like, again, I like our defense. I like what we're doing. I like the upside that we have, but there's just the little things where it's like we still are missing tackles. That's one of my number one things that needs to be addressed. Like, we can't keep missing tackles. We can't keep running full speed and just putting fingertips on guys and falling the opposite direction. Like, what are we doing? Like, no,
I can't stand that. And I mean, that's just bad tackling mechanics. I mean, that's
we need Ramsey type level of tackling instincts, mechanics. Like, to have that type of player at the time we had, it just made so much sense. Like, oh my God, we are back, right? Like, that void has not been filled since. And it's like annoying that, again, we're back in Jalen Ramsey talk again. And it's like he goes to the Steelers, like he's making some old veteran mistakes, but he's still out there tackling like a beast. He is still hurting folks.
yeah.
Like, he is still doing his damn thing when it comes to the number one important thing. Stop the big play, knock them dead in these tracks. Like, I have yet to see that energy from our secondary. That's just me personally talking, though.
No, that's fair. I think out of that list, I mean, obviously Denzel Ward is the most Rams move if we're talking back in the day when they would go
But
after those guys.
Yeah, that's like the less likely thing, though.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, that's more
that would
likely
be so
than
good.
JC
Actually,
Horn.
that would answer the question. That would be the dream scenario right there. Denzel Ward. If we get that often, it's like, okay.
Like, okay, everyone it's one of those
Relax.
things where we're back to terrorizing people in their push notifications. And they say, then you see the Adam Schefter thing or you see the Ian Rappaport thing and it comes up and it said, report Rams trade for Denzel Ward. And everyone goes, oh, shit. Like, and we're just like, and dude, I know you've been there before because I have with the push notification showing an R and then ends up being like a Ravens or whatever. And you're like, no, I read too quickly. That happened with Cheetah Bay Awuzie. But I mean, I knew he was going to sign there ahead of time.
Yeah.
All right. I think definitely Denzel Ward is the best option.
Yeah.
But very unlikely. More likely than JC Horn. Because if you look at his contract, I mean, Denzel Ward is out in 2 years. I don't think people realize that. Like, that's a contract that was signed a little bit ago. Yeah, so I mean, there's void years in 2028 and 2029. So you could get him. I mean, that is possible. What would they want? Probably a first rounder. Would you trade a first rounder straight up for Denzel Ward? I think it depends on, what does the injury look like, right? But I want to end this little segment here and wrap up with Chris Shula in the game plan. But before we end the segment, I am going to put my cards on the table here. I believe that the Rams should acquire Chidobe Awuzie from the Baltimore Ravens, or they should acquire Raiders cornerback Eric Stokes. I think those two are the best options right now. I think those two can help a Super Bowl caliber team. Chidobe Awuzie is probably the best option because he's a rental, isn't going to cost a ton. The Ravens are likely going to trade him if they keep losing. And they already have that level of communication where the Rams were runners up in that sweepstakes. So I think it'd be, which tells me they already had a game plan, right? When they went out and they made that communication. So that's where I'm at. Chidobe Awuzie, then Akello comes back, we'll say week 15 against the Lions, and you have those two together, and then people start to see what I was talking about. If they got those two together, both guys can tackle. Chidobe Awuzie will come up and really play the run. So what you're talking about, that's like a guy that you would be all over. So
absolutely.
I hope that's what they do. We'll find out. But real quick, before we wrap this up, I want to talk real quick about Chris Shula and his game plan, because we didn't talk too much about the defense since we focused mainly on the secondary. And I thought a lot of those numbers were kind of misleading. I thought Nate Landman, who's not the best in coverage and never really has been, looked really good despite giving up a lot of catches. He was asked to do a lot. I don't for the life of me know why they played cover 2 so much. Do you agree with my standpoint that despite the fact I think Chris Shula has called a great game every single week, this game was abysmal. This is the worst job he has done as a defensive coordinator since, I will say, week 2 last year against Arizona.
I think what happened was, which makes my frustrations rise any higher. Like, why do we continue on letting teams set the tone on us, and it takes so long to make the adjustments? Like, I get frustrated seeing, hey, I like how we handled Jonathan Taylor. I like how we handled Saquon Barkley. Why is that not presenting itself in the game plan against the 49ers? Why is it that we were able to be all over Saquon Barkley when he went out in the flat? That should have been the same game plan for Christian McCaffrey, because we know that. Why didn't we take out the middle of the field? Why didn't we allow, some of our guys to step up and get crowded at that line, stack the box? Like, I do think that Chris Shula, in terms of overall production, he's put together a nice game plan on a week-to-week. It's just that the response time, the adjustment time, and allowing a team to set the standard and tone, that's the most frustrating part of it for me, because we shouldn't be in the third quarter still seeing the same stuff that Shanahan was pulling out in the first quarter.
And he's been good about the second half adjustments, but it just didn't feel like it was there in that game.
It didn't feel like it ever happened. Like, it just was like, okay, why are they still allowing the tight end to sneak out and be this threat in the middle of the field? Why is CMC still on the flat catching touchdowns and everybody blaming Troy Reader on that? It's Troy Reader. What do we expect? It's freaking CMC. Like, come on. Like,
while Troy Reader has appeared. Like, what?
And I'm like, just looking at it like, we need to be quicker on the response, or we need to come out swinging and setting the tone and stick that way. And I've seen us do it, Jake. I've seen us buckle down and hold it down. And that prime example was the Eagles game. So, like, I know he's capable of having the game plan ready. I know he's capable of making the adjustments. It's just like the little things around the tendencies of how long we do to respond or even try to adjust in setting the tone.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's only frustrating. I say this all the time. You can't be disappointed or frustrated in somebody when you don't have any respect or belief in them. That's when I get frustrated. Like McVay. When I get frustrated with McVay's red zone play calling, it's because I've seen him do a freaking hook and ladder at the goal line against the Packers in the playoffs and have it work. But then he's running into a brick wall on 4th and 1, not once, but twice this year, against the Eagles on 4th and 1, and then in this game on 4th and 1.
Worse the wide receiver side, by the way.
Yeah, awful. Yeah. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And he knows that too. And that's the thing. That's why it's frustrating, right? It's only frustrating because you have respect admiration and belief in Sean McVay.
Like, we seen McVay go to the Super Bowl with Sony Michel as our leading rusher, with a roster that had Deshaun Jackson at one point, with a hurt Robert Woods, and then as soon as we acquire Odell Beckham and go to the Super Bowl and take this team with his prime elite decision making. Like, I've seen him do it. I've seen him execute in the red zone at high levels, but then
that's the frustrating part about Chris Shula. After the Bills game against Josh Allen, where he had 6 touchdowns, and by the way, the Rams somehow found a way to win that game. I never in a million years expected them to win that game. Best game of the year. After that, Chris Shula's defense was the best in the NFL. Best. Now, obviously, we know Ahkello Witherspoon, number 4, was a big, key, and critical part of that.
Spates ascending as well. So
Spates.
Everything gelled.
Everything gelled. But not everything is going to just gel. Not everything is going to be okay. There's going to be banged up players. I mean, I'm a little concerned in a sense if this defense looked like this. Well, what's going to happen if, like, God forbid, a Kobe Turner goes down or a Jared Verse? Like, you are right now as healthy as can be. Obviously, Kello's out. But it's like the pass rush wasn't really getting there. The blitzing wasn't getting there. And then you're playing this cover 2 without a robber over the middle. I know right after I was talking about this with Jesse, right after we brought it up, then all of a sudden Jalen McCullough is there. It's like he heard me. But there's no robber over the middle, and you have Mac Jones just playing pitch and catch right over the middle. Like, hey, you know, it's like he's in his backyard just throwing the baseball, you know, whatever. And nobody is there. And I'm like, do you know how many times the Rams could have jumped that route? Like,
we did.
So,
it should have been. It should have been. But the thing is, right?
Well, that's when they started playing. They started having that robber underneath, because then now
Josiah Stewart should have picked that off, but he's not expected to have those hands. But that's prime example. He has the ability to execute that. I'm not talking about Josiah Stewart. I'm talking about Chris Shula on a consistency
100%.
of adjusting. It's one of those things that it happened too late in the game. Like, I honestly think we should have blown them out miserably. But again, we shoot ourselves in the foot and we do silly things. And at the end of the day, how I look at this, like, I don't want to take away Chris Shula's confidence, but at the end of the day, like, this defense has holes. I do think he's done an amazing job up to this point in terms of getting guys whipped in the shade and be able to play at the best of their abilities. Like, I do think that our trenches are going to be a big reason why this defense is going to be fearful for the next couple of years. Like, just with the pass rushers we have. So it doesn't really matter what else we build up from linebacker to the secondary. Long as we have the core of the trenches, I think Shula will have the ability to, with this defense, to be a top 10 defense year after year.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do think Chris Shula is going to be head coach after the season, but I agree.
Miami.
Yeah, it's right there. I mean, really? Are we stupid? It's right there. Come on, guys. But
duh.
Hello, Don Shula, Chris Shula. Come
on. It writes itself sometimes.
It really does. Isn't it funny? It's all one flat circle or whatever that people call it. Or time is a circle. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad we covered that. I mean, yeah, really just, I felt like, you know, what bothers me is that would have won them the game. That defensive game plan would have won them the game. They were basically bending, not breaking. Yeah. And although some people say they were breaking, they gave up 23 points in regulation. I wouldn't say that was breaking, right? And the Rams, just if they don't fumble twice, they win this game by 2 possessions. So it's
correct.
In a way, you could say, are we really still talking about Chris Shula's defense if they win by 2 possessions? Yeah, we still are. But it's not as big of an issue right now. And the thing is, they were really good against the Eagles. They shut down Saquon Barkley. Christian McCaffrey's not a good running back anymore. He is just a receiving back at this point. He can't run. But it is good they held him to 2.8 yards per carry. They held Barkley at 2.8. They held Jonathan Taylor. Was the one game where he didn't absolutely explode. They've done a nice job stopping the run, and that was the biggest concern, I think,
the one outlier
of the season.
The one outlier is like Tony Pollard with 90 yards on us, and I'm like, Did that really happen? Like, I don't
He had
remember
like
that.
one big run, I think, and that
That's
kind
what
of
I'm like, when the hell was that?
yeah, no, that was. I didn't worry too much about it, but I mean, Tony Pollard's the guy that ended the Rams season in 2019. That game against the Cowboys. I mean, he was. Oh my lord! So some guys are just really good against a certain uniform. They just see it and they're like, "I'm going to destroy you." All right, super chats, real quick. We'll head out here. Roger, LQ, you are 1,000% right. Don't put Kyron in a situation that he can't handle the pressure. Too many costly mistakes in high stakes situations.
I accept that. I'm just saying, like, people see it, man. We can't keep putting him out there like that. Like, I don't want to be a dirtbag or a mean guy, but come on, man.
I don't think you're being a dirtbag.
I mean, look, I don't want to be a bad guy. I don't want to be like the negative cloud constantly honing in on the biggest problem that he has. But like, come on, man, we can't put him in that position. We have to split it up. We got to control some of the outcomes of this.
Ruiz, thank you for the 2. How many fumbles will it take, Jake? Serious. Hunter, clock.
Like, Jake, I don't think it's Hunter time. I don't think it, not yet. I was trolling when I was on the timeline. Yeah, like I was trolling Hunter on the timeline. Like, it might be time to have the horse.
It's time for him to be active. But it is not time for him to start. And I just have to say, there's more to the running back position than carrying the fucking football. I say it all the time. I say it all the time.
I think more so if he gets involved, then we're punishing Blake Corum. I like the tandem that we have at the 1-2 punch. I can paint the picture. I can see the vision that we can literally be one of the best duos in the NFL. It's just a matter of getting on the same page in terms of roles, because I don't ever want to see Blake Corum catch the ball again. Okay. I don't ever want to see him go out there trying to catch the ball. That's not his thing. I get it. I understand that. But Kyron can't be put in positions where he's at risk to fail. So, like, the roles need to be reversed. Red zone, Corum, Kyron, third down, block, catch passes, cool, get upfield, get down, get off the field.
No, I get it. Again, back to the whole Kyron thing. My thing is, it looks like he's corrected that, and that was just a bad mistake, and he knows that. It's more a wait and see approach. Because, I mean, again, you and I aren't counting the Colts game. There are a lot of people that are just giving him the Colts fumble, and I don't think that's fair. And that, in their mind, that's his second fumble of the season.
It tallies up and makes the number look bigger than what it is. Like, we know as fans, like, we're not giving him that fumble. It was one of the things that happened quick, fast. Defender, if anything, that's on our O-line. Like, why is a guy splitting out that quickly? Like, geez, what was the takeoff time off the goddamn line? Next gen stats. Like, it didn't make sense how quickly he was able to get back there and cause that fumble. So nobody's blaming Kyron for that one.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, when it comes to fumbling, right? I feel like with Kyron, it's all Kyron, but the same Rams fans that are complaining about him never bat an eye at the fact that, and he was amazing, and I've interviewed him, and he's awesome, but look,
Steven Jackson.
No, not even. Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson has never, in any point in his career, in a single season, had anywhere near as many touchdowns as Kyron. So, here's my thing, okay? But actually, that's false. I think his rookie year he did. Eric Dickerson fumbled 13 times his rookie year, 14 times his second year, 10 times in his third year, and 12 times his last year with the Rams. 12. Now, love Eric Dickerson, but he fumbled the ball. People will say, well, but he carried it way more. Kyron carried it more his third year than Eric Dickerson carried it in his third year, had more touchdowns, and had 5 fumbles, and you guys wanted to kill him. That was half as many of Eric Dickerson had. And Eric Dickerson only played 14 games to Kyron's 17.
Valid.
So, again, and then, people will say, well, he's not as explosive. I don't care about all that. We're talking about the here and now. And
he definitely did improve in explosiveness. I don't even think that's an argument anymore. Like, I don't think this should be a conversation in
Well, he
week
added
5
more
about him
weight.
being explosive. Like
So
his feet are quicker. It just visually, he just looks faster. It looks like he did something in the offseason to address the lack of explosiveness.
I
Because I do
agree.
see him making improvements there. So that's definitely a good notch on his belt.
Yeah. But anyway, Craig, let's be fair, Jake. Thank you for the 5. And thank you, Ruiz. But let's be fair, Jake. Kyron has gotten plenty of support from McVay. Corum can help this team, but he needs support through his struggles too. Yeah, I mean, I am not throwing McVay under the bus. I think McVay has handled this very well. He has not thrown Corum under the bus. He has not thrown Kyron. He definitely threw the kicking team under the bus, but he should have because they've been terrible. I've never seen anything like it. But yeah, no, I think that's the right approach. And I mean, I'm not out on Corum. I just didn't want to see him in that game. After he fumbled that, I'm like, it's a 14-0 ball game. I hate to break it to you, but that was an opportunity where the Rams score there, then they get a stop and they score again. It's tied. And now we're talking a completely different. I mean, I think they probably would have nuked him at that point, but you just gave him too much momentum. What I can handle is as painful as it is. The Kyron fumble is a forced error. It's punched out. We can complain about how he's holding the football. At the end of the day, somebody on the other team had to do something to get the ball out. When Blake Corum just drops the ball and it's unforced and the 49ers are like, oh, look what I found. They did nothing to deserve that. That absolutely kills me. It kills me. It's no different than watching baseball and you have, okay, you give up a home run, I can understand it, right? He just beat your pitcher. When a pitcher is just throwing to the backstop and they're just giving guys free bases and free runs, that I can't stand. That is the definition of it. I mean, essentially, they're the same thing. I don't like unforced errors. I never have. I never will. They absolutely, I can't stand it. And that was my thing.
We shouldn't be, again, back to McVay's head, putting our players in certain positions. Like that boy dropped passes before that fumble. Like we know his hands were not right that night.
Then he shouldn't be out there.
Why is he still getting pitches? Like, no, hand that boy the ball in the red zone.
You know who should be out there?
And go. Who?
Jordan Whittington. Play him at running back.
I'm about to say he could take a couple snaps out the backfield, but I want to keep him healthy. He don't need to take the Debo abuse.
Yeah, no, we're not trying to kill him. But I mean, hell, he's sitting there and he's like, yeah, I got 2 catches a game. Why not? Play him like Debo. SoCal, appreciate you. Jake, I think the knuckleballs are throwing off Cardi's kicks. Pat McAfee noted that. I'm going to push back here. I think that is, and I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate it. Also appreciate the super chat. I'm going to push back here, and here's why. Okay, people are trying to say Cardi is driving the ball a certain way, and he's taking too long. That just sounds like a cop out for the worst kicking unit I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like it's beyond Cardi. It's beyond Cardi, right? Like, let's be honest. Like, how many times are we gonna watch Alex Ward look up and be like, come on, like, bro, put a hand on somebody, bro. Like, touch somebody. Like, it's that whole left side of the line. Like, it doesn't make sense of how they're getting abused like that. And it's one of the most nastiest things to watch back on tape.
Yeah, and the right side's fine. So I hate like clumping them all together when it's so obvious it's one side. But
yeah, it's one side.
SoCal is back with another super. Appreciate that. Rams should have signed Ramsey. They went cheap. Ramsey was expensive. I actually agree with the Rams because that was an expensive deal. Like the Steelers are like, we're winning the Super Bowl this year. That's why they're paying him. I don't know if they are. So it was a very expensive deal. And then Alex, to wrap us up here, look around the league, ton of injuries at cornerback, which means the price for mid cornerbacks have gone up. And top guys are going to cost a war chest. No thanks. He's right.
Alex is right. Alex is right, man. Man,
Cheetah Awuzie, man. I think it's the best option.
I think I'm on board more so of the draft because, like, I do think the 2 first rounds are interesting to me. Mm-hmm. I do think we could make magic and come away with gold and be set up for success for years to come. Like these feel like temporary fixes for, again, what we usually do. That's our behavior.
Really, where are you then? Because like for me, this is a team that's going to win the Super Bowl. I actually have no doubt.
I feel
Where
like
are
I
you?
was 10 out of 10. I felt like I was at 10 out of 10. Now I'm at 9 out of 10. It's that one. That
But you're
one.
9 out of 10, so you're
But like,
not a fan of like a quick fix to try and secure a Super Bowl. That's
because
what I'm saying about Awuzie.
I feel like we have so many more issues right now. The plate is full, right? We fixed that. That doesn't set us up temporary. I'm just saying, weighing the odds of what could possibly get us to the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
If this year we're not going to address it, then let's address it next year because it's a 2-year window that we had for this team, like the exact squad. Guys don't need to be fed yet, when it comes to cracking that big bag. Like, I do feel like if we're going to make this decision, it has to be long term. Like, it has to be something that can fit in this 2-year window. Like, I don't want to be 1 year we get a Wouzier and then the next following year there's a decline. Like, this is how you end up with a Darius Williams at the point where
Well,
he
he would
leaves
just
to
be a
Jacksonville.
1-year deal. So it would be
Yeah,
like you're paying maybe a 5th rounder for a rental. Would you do that?
no,
See,
because they're probably
I
going to
would
use that fifth rounder.
100% do that.
But I do feel like this 2-year window is very sensitive because it could honestly just be one. Like, if this is going to be the move we make, cool. Let it be that right player that's going to come in not injured, not coming in unmotivated from a bad team. Like, that's just my stance on the corner conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think. Are you open for business at the trade deadline for any of your first round picks? If it's like a Denzel Ward or somebody like that.
Ward, man, he keeps coming up, bro. We're gonna summon him. Like, this feels like we're putting it so much
Speak it
in the
into
universe.
existence, baby.
It's one of those dream scenarios, man. But I'm like, Denzel for a one. Man, that's hard to see on paper. But that might be what gets it done. I just don't want it to be us to get rid of that first,
Yeah. By the way, the Browns did restructure Denzel Ward, which makes his contract a little bit easier to trade. So I thought that was interesting.
Myles Garrett did break the bank. He did break the bank.
He did. That's a lot of money.
Moved around, yeah.
A lot of
He's
money.
Gonna be the Browns' gravekeeper, man. He's gonna be there for a while.
I mean, dude went from requesting a trade to I love the Browns. I'm never gonna leave the Browns. Like, all right, well, you're 1-4. And
you should be leaving the Browns.
The good news for the Browns is they have the Jets on the schedule, but they have to play the Steelers off a bye. The Dolphins should be potentially a win. New England is a loss. The Ravens are garbage, but maybe by that time they wouldn't be. The Raiders, that's a lot. That's potentially a win. 49ers, Titans, Bears, Bills, Steelers, Bengals. They're not going anywhere. They're 1-4. So if they lose, let's just give them the losses that they should definitely lose.
And then
Steelers,
the back end of the season, I got a theory in like 4 weeks. If things don't work out, we'll see Shador. So it's going to be a lot of up and down with that Browns team overall. So they could be in business to blow it up. But
they got
I don't
10
see
losses
why.
at the very least that I see on the schedule.
I think the positive that they have is the defense. Like, I don't see them blowing up the defense because the defense isn't the problem.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Because what assets are you going to get and put back on that offense? Like, we clearly see that they can't make proper decisions on offense of players when it comes to money and contracts and draft picks.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of the Browns.
Quinshon Junkins is pretty like home run though.
I like him.
Yeah. Bond
Their leading receiver doesn't even have 200 yards. Puka Nacua has over 500.
Bro, the crazy thing is Isaiah Bond leads them in receiving yards at wide receiver course since week 3. And I'm like, didn't this guy just come off the street? Like, how is he balling right now?
Yeah, it's not good over there. Harold Fannin Jr. has 173, and Njoku has 195, and Jerry Jeudy has 197.
That's the function of their offense, man.
Yeah. So, you got any final thoughts before I end the show?
Man, we got to link back up, man. I think we should line it up around that week 10 game against San Fran. I think that we need to do a pre-show or maybe like an after show. I don't know. We got to either get the boys riled up.
Well, you're still welcome to come back on anytime. We just have to figure it out because we got to
figure it out.
We get so busy. I mean, I'll tell you, I think the last time I went live was probably with you.
Oh, man.
When it's not a post-game recap.
Yeah, because I do think that we got to figure something out. We got to get on the same page, but we'll talk off mic.
Yeah, of course. And we got a buzzer beater super chat here. Mr. Hardcore 76, appreciate the 5. I'd consider the Rams a Super Bowl team if they pulled off the win in Philly in last week, but to now they are a playoff team with upside. Well, again, and I appreciate this super. Nobody is a Super Bowl team in week 5, week 6. You have to build up to that. The Rams, yeah. I will just remind everyone when it comes to the Rams, right? 2024, they started off the same record as the Cleveland Browns are right now, 1-4. 2023, they started off 2-2. They had just beaten the Indianapolis Colts in overtime. They went into the bye at 3-6. 2024, they, at that point, were 4-5 at the same time that they were in 2023. Obviously, I don't have to tell you about 2022. In 2021, they were 7-2. That is this year. That is who they are. That is who they'll be. They're going to win against the Ravens. That'll push them to 4-2. They're going to beat the Jaguars, go 5-2 into the bye. They're going to come out of the bye. They're going to beat the Saints, go 6-2, beat San Francisco, and then they're 7-2, just like where they were in 2021. That's who they are. They are ahead of schedule. They are ahead of where they were the last 2 years. And here's the thing. Sean McVay seems to have this second half of the season thing down pat.
Oh, yeah. That's been clear the last couple of years. Like, back half of the season, that's when we turn up. That's when we turn up. But that's usually when we get the reinforcements back from injury. And I think, that could be somewhat of what's aligning right now. Getting guys back healthy on that line, getting guys, locked in and back, getting Spates back. Like, these things will be huge in the back end of the season. So I'm actually looking forward after the bye, man. I just hope that, we handle business. We don't lose to a team that we shouldn't be losing to, like the Ravens. Like, let's lock in, right? Let's not have special teams.
No, if they lose to the Ravens,
Cooper Rush comes out here with a W. Like, nah, let's not.
It'll be Tyler Huntley.
It has to be somebody because that offense is cooked.
Yeah, it's not great right now. Yeah, but appreciate you coming on, guys. Appreciate you hanging out. Man. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the video, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.